Hello everyone and welcome back to another Pony&Wolf Productions video. My name is Visual Pony and today we are reading the story Editorial Mandate by LightOfTriumph. It's a story that I have once again not previewed, but apparently that has been in my read later list for quite some time. I have also checked the channel and it doesn't seem to be on there. I don't get that. Why did I back in the day add so many stories to my read later list and not read them? So, without further ado, let's show that list of those amazing, talented, and just awesome people who keep donating to our channel and keep us alive. And I mean that in the most literal sense, because the money we get from Patreon is actually our monthly food budget. And without that, yeah, we cannot actually go shopping and buy food. So if you want us to continue and eat, then check out the links in the description down below and help us out, because you can get awesome perks for as little as $1 a month. And now, without further ado, let's get into the meat of the story. There's no new chapter. AK smiled, looking straight at me. My mind blanked. What? Nope. AK smiled. Not today, it isn't finished. Now, AK was a very good friend of mine, so leaping across my desk and killing her with my bare hoofs wasn't wise, as tempting an option as it was. I just had to calmly explain to her that if I had to tell my bosses and her fans that the launch of the new book would have been delayed once again because of her writing process, there wouldn't be a creature that they wouldn't consider nasty enough to feed us to. Just keep your head noteworthy. Don't lose your head. AK? I asked calmly. Are you out of your damned mind? That calm thing was fun while it lasted, but I knew it couldn't last long. Would you keep your voice down? AK hissed. Why? I asked. Why do you keep doing this to me? Why do you even want an editor at this point when you give me nothing to edit? Because I can't proofread worth a damn. AK smiled. You got that right! I held up a copy of her last chapter with more red on it than black. I have an idea for the next book. Daring Do and the Quest for the Missing Apostrophe. You team up with the army of superfluous commas you summon from the ether to stop Ayezotl from making the world forget that it isn't, as in it is, as a funny mark that looks like a teardrop in it. Yeah. AK laughed. You read ancient hieroglyphs better than you read plain equestrian, I said frankly. You'd think that with all of the friggin' things you've read, one of them would be a grammar textbook. I get it, AK said, giggling. I can barely spell. We understand. Now listen. It's going to be another week. Another week? But I promise it's going to be the best chapter I've written for you yet. AK smiled at me. Will it be worth postponing the launch of the book to your insane fangirls? I asked earnestly. Keep in mind, this includes the mayor who broke into your impossible-to-find house and raided your stuff to find the manuscript. Will it be worth it to that crazy girl? That's not what happened. Exactly, AK protested. Did I get the broke into your house part wrong? I asked sharply. Because that's what happened, AK. I know. I had to spin it. And how did you respond to this felony invasion of privacy? You put the psycho in your next book. That didn't set a dangerous precedent at all. There have been 7 more attempted break-ins. The problem is most ponies can't find your house. So what do? Break into yours? AK stated awkwardly. They break into mine, I responded emphatically. I have had no less than 9 of your psycho groupies in my house, all of them asking where to find you. I can think of worse ways to meet mares. AK smiled. I was not amused. I'll admit, I growled. One of them would have been pretty cute if she wasn't carrying a knife. Oh, AK said meekly. I paced around the office and took a deep breath. Okay, I said calmly. I can't give the new chapter to the publishers. That's fine. Maybe I can give them a teaser for the book after this one. So what's the next book about? AK breathed sharply through her teeth. Okay, note. She started slowly. I'm gonna tell you this next thing, but you have to promise not to freak out, okay? I sat with a plastic smile on my face, preparing to freak out. As of right now, there are no plans for a next book. At that moment, I think I had a massive stroke. It was around the time that I remembered how to form consonants and vowels into words that I managed to eke out a solitary sound. Why? I wasn't sure if I was asking AK or cruel fate. AK shrugged. Nothing's been going on. Nothing's been... I sputtered. Nothing's been... You're daring bucking do! Get something going on! Go find an ancient haunted artifact! Rub your nose on it, and then be shocked when something bad happens! Daring do and the attack of the snot-dribbing Elder God! I dropped down crumpled on my desk. Pills? I whimpered. I need some kind of pills, preferably hydrogen cyanate. There was a pause, and then AK burst out laughing. Oh wow, notes! She smiled. You have fun to mess with. She threw a stapled stack of paper on the ground. Those are the next 2 chapters. One is early because I won't be here next week. I'm checking out a pyramid in Isla Burro. You should have more fun on your birthday, Noteworthy. I was stunned. Even I had forgotten. You remembered? AK smiled. Of course I did, she said. You're one of the few people on this planet I can call a friend. So I gave you something else. I proofread those myself. That should save you some time. I was moved. As nuts as AK made me sometimes, it was good to have her as a friend. Thank you. I smiled. I really do appreciate it. AK smiled again and left the room. I looked down the first page and I noticed 3 errors on the first paragraph alone. I giggled. It's a thought that counts. Author's note. This is dedicated to my editor Ephraim Blue. Thanks, man. I know it can't be easy dealing with my constant grammar errors and use of superfluous commas and shoving the apostrophe where it shouldn't be. Happy, belated birthday, man. Remember, writers, your editor is the only person who gets you unfiltered. No pony deserves that. Give your editor a hug today. Let him know he's appreciated. Please rate and comment. Hello and welcome back to Comment Time with Visual Pony, every pony, where I will remind you that you can support Pony&Wolf Productions through the links down in the description below. Every dollar helps is needed and very much appreciated, and you get amazing perks like high quality MP3 downloads of all of these videos, and yeah, you can, even if you donate, I think it was $25 a month, you could get voice acting lessons from me if you really wanted that, or other advice. Or for just as little as $1 a month, you get the early access and downloads. Doesn't that sound good? Well, if it does, then check out the links down in the description below. And don't forget, there is also a merch store down there. And now let's get into my thoughts of this. Well, as someone who has worked with editors before, not in a text-based thing, more like with editors for my audio, I can certainly empathize here with Noteworthy, because oh my god, have I tortured my editors. I remember when Project Horizons was going on and starting with chapter 54, I finally asked for some people to help me editing it. I later on found out that one of my editors was actually underage, and I think he was like 17 or so. And every time he went to high school while editing for me, he basically just had a blank face, just internally dead, is how one of his friends, whom I later met, called it. He laughed about that, but yeah, he's now moved on to greener pastures. and is working for the Overmare Studios as a programmer, so that's more of his thing. I personally must say, hey, great, you found something that's like more your thing, and he is sorely missed, but still an honorary member of our editing team. So, without further ado, I can only agree, hug your editors, tell them that they appreciate it, and I hope that this story finds you well in body and mind.